Great. So, hello everyone. Thank you again, everyone, for joining the Fringe Academy. Everything you need to know about box office. My name's Ben Pearson. I'm the box office manager here at Brighton Fringe. I've been doing this job now for about 1.5 years. I've got lots of experience in the arts. I've done plenty of front of house. I do stand up, and yeah, I've got. If you name it, I've probably done it. I've been all over the place. But for this session, we're going to specifically be looking at the box office, give you a bit of the lay of the land of what it is that we do, and also how we can help you sell some tickets and what it is that we can provide. So, yeah, an agenda for the meeting, just a brief overview on what the box office does, ticket types for how you can configure your event, special tickets, our Friends of Fringe scheme and how that all folds in, holds and comps when you want to maybe give away tickets, and finally how to track tickets in sales reporting. What I will say is I'm basically just going to run through everything, and then at the end I will answer any questions from there. So there's a chat function Zoom. If you could just pop in any questions you've got there, I will address everything at the very end. And of course, if you forget a question and you need to ask, the box office is open, every day via email. So we will, well, every weekday via email, so we can always respond to your queries there and then. So let's go into it. So what does the box office do? Quite bluntly, we sell tickets. We do the actual, logistical, getting a customer their ticket in their hands for your event, knowing when, where it is, how many people they can bring with them, and if it's, and ultimately getting the money to you. We also do a lot of work configuring the special tickets, which you would have come across a few of those in the Eventstron application when you registered your event. You would have seen some of the ticketing types you could do there, but also plenty of other ticketing types. Some people throw out the whole standard concessions, the conventional ticketing structures, and go for something completely crazy and different, and we're here to help with that. Sales and reporting. So we can help you configure your reports so you can keep track of sales and see what your best days are, maybe your not so strong days are, and you can work out that you can use that to inform your marketing strategy and your publicity. And then the final part is that we do promotional marketing. We're quite a small part of that. I mean, I wouldn't bake the box office into your marketing plan, but I'll get onto that in a bit about what I mean. So ticket types. What I'm going to do is, I'm sure at this point you've all got your events online, so you've probably already got your ticketing strategy put in place, but I thought it would be good to go over the different ticketing types that we offer standard, and you can see if the one that you've got now is the one that's most suitable for you, and more importantly, if that ticketing structure that you've got in place is also the one that's most suitable for you at the moment. So first of all, it's just your standard ticketing. This is, your pork and beans, basically, your standard and your concession, and then that's it. The pros of this, it's the most conventional. So, if a customer's coming to your event and they see two prices, more often than not, they know exactly what that means and which ticket is most suitable for them. It also gives you quite a reliable projection because of what your income is going to be, because you've only got one price or two prices, and you can work it out from there and bake that into your whole strategy. The cons of that is that it's quite inflexible. So if maybe your ticket sales aren't quite where you want them to be and you want to drop price, but then you've already sold some tickets, some customers might then want to get a refund of the difference and might be a bit frustrated about the fact that price has changed. So I wouldn't say you're locked in, but it does put you in a bit of a bind if you do want to drastically change the price after you've already sold the tickets. Obviously, if you haven't, then there's not really a con there. So the ticketing, the shows this is most suitable for is basically everybody. I would, it would sort of depend on the price rather than the structure. If you've got a huge production, you're going to want to have a higher price because you're going to bake that all into your budget as well. So yeah, this is basically what we would typically advise people to use for whatever show they've got. Pay what you want ticketing. So this basically means that you can set a guide price and a minimum price, and then the customer is able to pay whatever they want above and below that range. Obviously, nothing below the minimum there, and that means that people can give you more money. They can give you less money than the guide price. So what it means is that anyone could, see the price of your show and go, oh, actually, I can't afford the guide price, but I'd really love to support this artist and come be in their audience. So I'm going to pay a lower one. And then you might find people who are more generous and more willing to pay a higher price. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. And it could mean that you get a bit more money in your pocket versus the standard and concession ticketing structure. The cons of this is that it's difficult to program like other ticketing offers. So you couldn't really do, like we couldn't offer like a 2-for-1 deal with a pay what you want structure. So it's very much like a 1-for-1 ticketing thing. And also because every ticket is a different price, it's a bit more difficult to project what kind of income you're going to get. But I mean, if you put the minimum as your minimum viable income for your budget, then you should be absolutely fine, and that should work well in your budget. Free ticketed. This is basically for anyone who just wants an audience, and maybe they haven't got a huge name or a huge online presence, and they just want people to come to their show. It's really easy to get people to come and watch a free show. Even if you're out flyering, you can say, well, it's free. Well, it's free, here's a ticket, you can come along. And what's different about this versus unticketed we'll come to, but it means that you can track your ticket sales, even though it's all free. Because of this, obviously, is no income, but this really does work into what the aim of your production is. If you're not so worried about making a huge amount of money, or any money really, and you can afford to do something like this, then that's a great option for you. Basically, quite functionally, you're able to track those ticket sales. Next is free unticketed. So this removes any sort of box office admin for you. You can just turn up to your show, and people don't need a ticket. You don't have to worry about staff checking people's tickets. They can just come straight on in, and that's great. I typically would advise against a free unticketed structure, just because you want to have some idea of what audience you're going to have. You don't, I'm sure that more seasoned fringe artists can agree that there's nothing worse than turning up to your show and you haven't sold anything. But at least that if you have like a free ticketing structure, whereas this you really don't know at all. So this is better for shows that are more flexible about their start time, so you can drop in whenever you like, and like exhibits and things like that. And also audiences. We sometimes do get queries from people when an event is clearly a performance or a show, and they can't get a ticket for it. And I think that can bring a bit of anxiety in an audience member, because they want to be able to, be booked in for a show. They want to plan around it, because it's difficult to plan if you're not sure if you're going to get a seat. Like, is it going to be hugely popular or not quite so popular? Am I going to get a seat? At least with a ticket, I know that I've got a seat there. And finally, donations. I mean, this is basically the exact same as free unticketed. It means that if the audience do turn up to your show, they know that they're kind of expected to give you a bit of cash at the end of it. It does have the same cons as an unticketed show, but the pro is that Brighton Fringe won't take a cut of what you make on the night, because we're not doing any of your box office. So we don't need to take a commission, we don't need to take a booking fee or anything like that. Yeah, that's it. So those are all the standard ticket types. We do offer some special ticketing types, so like the group of 4, group of 10, family tickets, and the artist last minute discounts. So I would always advise to opt in for as many of these deals as possible, providing that your show is compatible with this, because it's just a great incentive. Like, if I've got 5 friends I want to take to the show and there's a group of 4 discount, I can take 6 people and I get that group of 4 discount. That's how that works. And the same for 10. It's just a really excellent way to incentivize larger crowds of people to attend. And family tickets, I mean, if you're doing a family show and you haven't got a family ticket, I would really question as to why you've opted out of that. Because people love a discount, people love a deal, and especially if you've got little ones, you want to be able to, take them to things. So if you're going on the Brighton Fringe website and you're looking for events with family tickets, yours is going to come up, and they want to see that. The artist last minute discounts, we offer this to all artists. So everyone here who has got an event registered, you will be tagged as being able to see these tickets, and they become available to you 15 minutes before the show is due to start. So you can come to the box office and claim that, or you can do that online. But yeah, the account that you've registered your event with will be tagged with that, so you can access that. But again, it's a good thing to offer to other artists. Like if you can tell an artist, oh, I've got this last minute discount, then they can come for £3 as opposed to 10. Artists aren't going to be your biggest patron. So if they know that they can come in for cheap, then they're probably going to take it. So there's that as well. Friends of Fringe. Now, the Friends of Fringe is an important scheme for Brighton Fringe, and it's basically a way for our most dedicated, for lack of a better term, supporters can get some benefits out of us. And one of those, the main one being the 2-for-1 tickets. We would always ask if people want to opt in on this, because the Friends of Fringe scheme, like, these people are the most dedicated. These are the people that are going to see loads of shows. They're the ones that really want to get out there and support artists. I mean, and as you can see on the slide, some of our friends spend over £500 on tickets to shows per year. Now, I know this is a slightly cynical way of looking at it, but these are people that want to give you money, to be frank. And they want to support Brighton Fringe, and in turn they want to support you. So if they can see that they filtered all those events and you're offering those 2-for-1s directly for them, it works both ways. So on one hand, they're more incentivized to want to come, but also it helps Brighton Fringe as well, because if they see an event that they like the look of and it's got a 2-for-1 ticket, they're more likely to sign up as a member as well. So it works for everyone. I know talking about the money like that is a bit of a it never feels great as an artist, but to be frank, this is here for the taking. And if you opt out of it, you're taking yourself out of the conversation of being a show that can offer that. So the downside is that you will be offering the 2-for-1, and you would be the one shouldering the cost of a free ticket, so that people can attend. But again, these are the people that are most dedicated. They're going to tell their friends. They might bring their friends. So it's a trade-off, and it could pay off very well, but you don't know that unless you opt in. So I just figured it was quite important to flag that to everyone, just so you're aware of the benefits to you as well. So yeah, custom ticketing. So I've gone through so many different types of tickets so far, but it might not be enough. You might want even more. And we can work with you to work out something that fits your ticketing and strategy. So what could this include? It can include like promo codes, discounts based on the day of the performance, concession tickets for those not covered by the standard concession policy, or like a ticket plus a donation. So one thing I want to talk about a bit more is the promo code. I think that it's a really good way of getting people interested in your show if you've got a promo code there, because especially if they follow you already online, it's a good way to, again, incentivize them to come buy a ticket. And there's nothing better than having a promo code and feeling like you're in that club who gets that special discount. So, if you're not happy about where your ticket sales are and you're looking for something that could maybe give you a leg up or like another arm to your marketing strategy, then it's certainly worth considering that. But again, we have all sorts of ticketing strategies. I mean, someone this year, they've got a ticket discount specifically for hot people. We're not going to police that. But if it's funny and it fits your show, then do it. Last year we had a dance piece all about housing, and they split up their tickets between landlords, homeowners, and tenants. Um, and it was just a fun way of engaging with what you do. So I wouldn't expect everyone to do that, but it's just goes to show the flexibility that we can have with you. We can work with you to work out something that you'd like to implement. But get in touch, get in touch, talk, and we'll see what we can do to help. Holds and comps. So we offer 4 standard holds that you can opt into on Eventstron, Arts Industry, Press, Influencer. Slightly incorrect. So the artist comp you automatically do opt into. So basically, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of depth about like how you can get people to get these tickets to your show, how you get press in. I mean, that's a marketing query. But functionally, it's just important to know that if those holds don't get sold, those holds will be sold into. So if you've got 10 tickets available for your show and 2 are reserved for press, and you sell 9, one of those press tickets will automatically be sold. So you don't have to worry about releasing these holds. You can, of course, opt into like another hold if you want to have like a limited number of tickets that aren't sold into for whatever reason. Then you can speak to us. So just as though, just in the same way that we can configure special tickets for you, we can also configure any holds for you too. So there's artist comps. Everyone automatically gets 5 artist comps for the tickets events. So those are for you to issue. You can do so from Eventstron. If you just go to dates, times, and prices, details, and then there'll be a little button that says issue comp or reservation. Fill in the form. As long as you've got their email address, they'll get the ticket. But even if you put their name in, you can check them on the form as well to attend your event. One thing I've just forgotten, so I'm just going to go back to the custom ticketing very quickly, is about basket offers. I haven't popped it on the screen, but that's something that it's not something that's going to impact everybody. But a basket offer is basically a discount for adding tickets to 2 different shows. So if you have 3 different shows, say, what you can do is we can configure a basket offer where if you put 1 ticket from 2 of them in a basket, they get like a £2 discount or 10% off or something like that. Again, another way of incentivizing people to engage with your show. But also if you've got a friend who's like doing their show directly after yours in the venue, and you could do like a double bill, or sorry, not a double bill, but like a basket offer for both of them so that you could then get tickets for both for a discounted price. That's another way you could, get some of the rub from someone else, a bit of the shine from someone else, or they can get a bit of shine from you in order to both of you benefit from a ticket sale. Because again, people love a deal, and if they like you, they'll probably like the people you recommend as well. So, done holds and comps. Promotion. Now, the last thing you're probably going to hear in this Fringe Academy is the box office helps with promotion. Explicitly, we don't do promoting, we don't do marketing. And we aren't, the box office isn't going to sit there and recommend shows on behalf of Brighton Fringe. But we're all people. I'm going out watching shows. The box office team will be going out watching shows. If they go see a show that they enjoy and someone comes into the box office and says, oh, give me a recommendation of something that might be interesting, they're probably going to recommend something they've seen. We're not going to police that, because they're just personal recommendations. So what I mean by all this is that you should try and be in that conversation. If you can come to the box office, if you're doing a weekend stint and you come down to the box office on Thursday, Friday, and you just say, tell us a bit about your show, leave some flyers, talk to us about it. If someone comes in and is asking for a show that sounds, that might be interested in something that sounds like yours, we're going to recommend it. People come to the box office all the time asking for recommendations. So if you've got a show that's a little esoteric, or maybe something that people probably wouldn't always take a punt on, if they've got someone in the box office going, actually, this is quite good. We had a chat with a guy who runs it, he does blah, blah, blah. We can sell it on your behalf. But again, it's not an explicit arm of the marketing department, but if you come down and talk to us, we would, we want to sell tickets. We want to sell your tickets to your show, and we can't do that if we don't know anything about it. So there are over 650 events on the website. If you come down to the box office, that already puts you a bit above all of them. Obviously, if 650 people come down telling us all about their shows, it's going to be a little difficult to make it out of the shuffle. But, most people don't come down to chat to the box office. So I would really recommend coming down, giving us a few flyers, telling us about your show, especially during the quiet times. And we'd be more than happy to, tell anyone who might be interested in that all about it. So, yeah. Just a disclaimer, though, this isn't Brighton Fringe recommending shows above others. These are just individuals who are, have heard about something that might be interesting or good, and they want to talk about it. So I just need to put that caveat in place, is all. So finally, we're going to get onto the ticket reporting. Unfortunately, the arrows in my explanation have all started pointing upwards. Please presume that they're meant to be pointing to the right. This is going to be just a basic, quick and dirty rundown of how you get your ticket sales. There are two ways of doing this. One of which is simply going to your event, dates, times, and prices, click on the details of the performance you want to track, and the ticket in sales information will be there. You can also see in the bottom left there that button for the issue a comp or reservation. That's there too. One thing to also note is that when you do have a look at all of the people who have bought tickets to your shows, you're probably not going to see all of their email addresses. That's because they haven't opted into you seeing them. So you're not going to have that email attendees button. So if you do need to contact your ticket holders for whatever reason to let them know, oh, it's going to be starting 10 minutes later, oh, it's going to be, there's going to be a guest or whatever, do get in touch and we can get in touch with all of your ticket holders. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is by going to the Eventstron homepage. This has recently been overhauled, so it's going to look a bit different. But if you go to the homepage right now on Eventstron, you'll see the season that you're part of, Brighton Fringe 2024. When you click on that, you've got a screen that looks like this. Click on ticket sales on the left there, and then you'll get something like this. Now, I would love to be able to give you like a rundown of how this all works, but unfortunately, because of the data, I don't have access to a show in which I can actually, show you all of that information. So it's worth having a play around with all of these different parts here. So you can really get quite granular about your ticket sales, and you can just have a look and see when they're buying tickets, who's buying tickets, what ticket types they're buying. Are you selling more family tickets and standard tickets? Are you selling more group of 4 tickets for some reason, etc. So it's worth having a look here. Again, box office is always here to support you. We can build the report for you if you're having trouble with it, but I'd suggest just going in here and having a poke around. You can also download the report as a CSV file so that you can track it that way if you'd prefer. But if you click this save button over here, you can actually schedule the report so that it would keep coming into your inbox every day for however long you like. And do that. So again, I know I'm sorry I haven't been able to go into a huge amount of depth about that, but if you do have any queries, do just get in touch. We can have a phone call and go through it all with you, or just build the report for you, whatever you like. One thing here, if you click on results display, I should really have expanded it in the screenshot, but all the different options that you can include in your ticket report is there. You can click and drag them to prioritize different things. So there you go. One more thing I wanted to cover is the door tool. Unfortunately, I've got the annoying zoom bar here, but now you can see it. Great. So this is just something I wanted to quickly run down. If your venue doesn't have door staff, this is an important thing to look at. Or if you're a venue, you probably want to keep an eye on this. So once you've sold your tickets and you're about to do your show, you're going to want to know who's come. So that's where the door tool comes in. Again, on that screenshot, from the other slide, if you go to dates, times, and prices, details, there'll be a button that says door tool. and you can then check people in from there. This is available on the website, but I can also just pop it in the chat just so people are aware of it. I'll just pop that there now. And basically, like it's quite a simple thing to just go through and check through people's names. There are two. There's the door tool, and that's if you're just like an individual artist and you're just going to be on the door yourself, checking people in. This is the one to use. But yeah, you can get a breakdown here. So the door tool over here, and check people in that way. If you're a venue, please use the front of house tool. You can basically, it's the same thing, but you can track lots of different events. I won't go into a huge amount of detail here just because the guide is on the website. I'll put it in the chat for you to peruse over. But that is basically it. That's everything I wanted to cover, about box office, about all your ticketing. If you do have any questions, please just fire them into the chat. I'll start having a look at it now, if I can open it. So Renee's asked, does it become available later? Yes. So the recording will be put online somewhere. That's a question for the Take Part team, so they'll be able to, point you exactly where that's going to be. Not a box office job, so I don't know exactly where that's going to be, but it will be made available. It will be emailed out to you, to the attendees of this meeting. How do we change, Ian asks, how do we change allocations between you and our venue box office? Excellent question. So for that, what you need to do is, if we go back a few slides, I'm on the first slide, my mistake, everybody. So yeah, that's something I probably should have covered. So we do always, well, we'd prefer it if everyone had their tickets available through us, but we understand that for whatever reason, people probably want to have their own box office. Obviously, if you administer it yourself, you get to keep all of your ticket sales, pending any fees from that platform. So there are two ways you can do this. One, if your venue is the one that is managing your box office, I would speak to them to get them to change the allocation for you, because it might impact their own box office. They might oversell, we might have to turn away people, and that might be a bit of an issue. So if your venue is managing that, I would recommend speaking with them first before doing anything. But if you're administering it entirely yourself, sorry, I can't. What I'll do is I'll stop sharing, and then I'm just going to pull up a test event. So just bear with me 1 second. Oh, 1 second. Almost there. There, great. So this is a test event. So obviously it's not been finalized. It's not on the website or anything. So there are no sales that I could show you anything about. But basically, open up your event, go to dates, times, and prices on the left there. Once you've got to your event, performance, sorry, just click on the gray bit. Down here, you're going to see all of your ticketing options, so you can change it from pay what you want, and so on, and opt into Friends of Fringe there. But if you want to change the allocation, this is where you do it. So you just need to drag that slider. That's the main capacity, so it will be worked out as a percentage of that. The minimum we do require is 30%, yeah, you can chop and change that at will, really. But obviously, make sure you account for that on the other box office platform, so that you don't oversell your tickets. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. Cloud asks, if you issue an artist comp and the attendee can't attend, can you put the ticket back into the box office? Yes. Any comps that are, if you do comp somebody and then they're no longer able to come, notify us, we can remove that comp immediately. And that ticket will then go back into the pool to be resold. Obviously, if you want it then to be, moved on again, we can comp it to someone else. So yes, those are your tickets, your sales. Obviously make sure that whoever's ticket you're cancelling is aware, and we'll go from there. So yeah, always just contact the box office and we can do that for you. Goldie asks, on Eventstron, the tickets, times and prices page doesn't have the issue of comp reservation button that we email attendees. I've seen things a lot more basic note tab on the right hand side to change things as normal. So Goldie, yeah, there's going to be some things that are different just because I'm the super admin for the festival. Make sure your event is ticketed, and you should see that button there. The way you get this to appear is by clicking on the grey bar, not on details. I know it's a little bit confusing. Click on that, then you should be able to see all this information on the right there. Ivor asks, how to access ticket sales on the Brighton Fringe site? All right, I will send that to you in a moment. I'll just pop it in the chat. But basically, well, you wouldn't be able to access it on the Brighton Fringe site. You'd need to go into Eventatron to do that. But if you'd like me to program you a sales report, please just drop me an email, boxoffice@brightonfringe.org, and I'll do that for you in the morning if you're having any further issues with that. Everyone's saying thank you. Thank you from Cloud. Thank you from Goldie. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. What I'll do is I'll hang around just for a couple more minutes. So if anyone does have any further questions, I can sit here and I'm happy to answer them. But the box office is going to go up to being open, well, having the phone lines open 5 days a week from next week. We'll also be having our pop-up box office open at the Leadwood Centre from Tuesdays and Wednesdays, afternoons. But the final place that we're going to be having the box office during the Fringe is yet to be confirmed. But as soon as we have that completely locked in, we'll put that on social media. So yeah, if you do have any people who would like to speak to the box office in person, we'll be at the Leadwood Centre in the afternoons. So do send them our way. But again, we're more than happy to help. Anything you need, just ask. We're always here to help. So thank you. Thank you from everyone. Thank you all so much. Goldie, Megan, Sue and Carol. Thank you all very much. If there are no further questions, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll wrap it up here. So thank you all so much. It's my first time doing a Fringe Academy, so I hope it's all gone well. My name's Ben. I'm the box office manager, Ivor. So yes, anyone who has missed anything, the recording's going to be emailed out. But for now, thank you all so much for coming. Have a good evening, and I look forward to seeing your shows at the Fringe. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.